that made the difference in my life? Everybody say information. Information can bring about transformation, right? Depending on what you do with the information. Robert Kiyosaki created this cash flow quadrant years ago. And what he did was he basically broke down the 4 different ways money was actually earned. Now, all of us growing up, we're familiar with the work for someone else, right? That's this particular quadrant. This is what we call the employee quadrant, where we exchange our time, we exchange our efforts for money. Now, it's not a bad thing, but it is dangerous. Why is it dangerous? Well, because your income is dependent on who? Someone else. Someone else can call you in the office and say, hey, listen, your income is gone, right? Or something may happen in our country, and guess what? Your income is gone, right? So this is a very dangerous place to be because you're exchanging time for money. And we're all going to run out of time, right? So you run out of time, you run out of what? Run out of money. Well, some people say, well, David, I'm self-employed. I work for myself. Well, that's great, but your income is dependent on you as well, right? Because guess what? If you're not there to provide that job or to do that service, then your income is obsolete. So what Robert said was, you've got to observe the masses and do the opposite. Everybody say that. Observe the masses, and do the opposite. Right? Look at what these people are doing. Only 4% of the world are business owners. Right? Business owners have the ability to leverage time and leverage the efforts of other people. Okay? I want you to remember this. If you're taking notes, you can write this down. Y-O-E. Y-O-E. Y-O-E is your own efforts. You make money on your own efforts. Everybody does that. The rich do it, the wealthy do it. They have their own efforts. But there's another way of making money called OPE. Anybody guess what that is? Other people's efforts. Other people's efforts. See, would you rather have 100% of your income dependent on you, or 1% of 100 people's efforts contributing to your income? What would you rather have? 1% of 100, right? So that's what happens when you become a business owner. But here's another one, OPM, which is other people's money. Other people's money. That is how the wealthy become wealthy. They do it through OPM, right? And then you have OPI. OPI is other people's ideas. That's my favorite one, other people's ideas. Amazon was not my idea. Apple was not my idea. But because I invested in those companies, guess what? We're able to earn income on those ideas. All right? Now, the quadrant, all right? And it's a mindset, ladies and gentlemen. It's a mindset. It's you understanding that money is meant for planting. Money is not meant for spending. If you look at the word spend, the last 3 letters spell what? And. The moment you spend it, it's over. It has no way of coming back to you. Wealthy people, what they do is they plant their money. If you look at the word plant, take away the T, what do you have? Plan. They plan for their money. What's the plan? For it to grow, for it to multiply. That T stands for time. All right? It stands for time. Because anytime you plant anything, you've got to what? Give it some time for what? The harvest to actually come. But that's not what we're taught. We're taught to make money and put it where? Put it in the bank. And what does the bank do with the money? They invest it. Right? So they take our money and they actually multiply it. Right? We would be better off putting it under our mattress. We would get the same interest that the bank would give us. 0. Right? So here's what our company has actually done. We have now found a way for the average ordinary person, people from all around the world, to learn a skill set. All right? To learn a skill set. Learning how to grow, learning how to multiply money in the largest financial market in the world. How many of you are familiar with the foreign exchange market? Raise your hand if you're familiar with it. All right? Now, I thought I wasn't familiar with it, but then I thought about it. I said, when I travel out of the country, I have to exchange what? My dollars for that country's currency. That's foreign currency. Now, I did not know that anywhere from $5 to $7 trillion a day is traded in the foreign exchange market. I had no idea about that. All right? 5 days a week, 24 hours a day. So even when the stock market closes, guess what? The foreign exchange market is actually continuously working. Every single day this is happening as we go. Now, who are the big players in the foreign exchange market? You have our banks, hedge funds, and our governments. Now, where are the banks getting the money from? They're getting it from us. Where's the government getting the money from? It's getting it from us. Right? So we're already participating in the foreign exchange market. Tonight, we're just going to show you how you can actually benefit from it. All right? Also, digital currency. How many of you are familiar with digital currency now, right? You can't miss it. Right? You got Bitcoin, you got Ethereum. This is money evolving right before our eyes. Now, this is not anything new. What we know as money today was not money 200 years ago or 500 years ago. Money evolves. At one point, money was gold, right? You could exchange gold, and that was money, right? But guess what, guys? Digital currency, now it's over $1 trillion. I think it's a $2 trillion financial market. We're going to show you how you can actually capitalize on this without actually owning one physical digital asset. We're going to show you how you can actually trade it versus the US dollar and actually create financial freedom for yourself. Now, what our company has done is found a way to make learning simplified. Now, I realize the majority of you probably don't know too much about the foreign exchange market or the cryptocurrency market or high-frequency binary options, but that's where our company actually comes in. Learn and earn. That's the simplicity of what it is that we have. So we put together a Mastery Academy for Forex, digital currency, and high frequency. These are archived videos that are available to you 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, where you get a chance to actually learn. Learn from experts, learn the basics of Forex, learn the intermediate, and then eventually the advanced. And then what we've also done is give you an opportunity to get live mentorship, all right? Live training. It's called our Go Live platform, where now you get a chance to learn from an educator, someone who's already been trading for maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years, and you can actually get their strategies, their techniques live. When they actually enter into a trade, you can actually enter into that same trade as well and create freedom for yourself that way. Also, we want you to choose your own weapon. We've created several different in-house softwares, algorithms that you can actually utilize as well to win, like the harmonic scale or vibrato or levels. These are all different strategies that are utilized in order for you to win in the foreign exchange market. We also have a way for you to learn and earn on the go, whether it's Gold Cup, a swipe trades, a swipe point, where now you receive a signal on your phone, all right, and you take that information and you copy and paste it onto your trading platform. How many of you can copy and paste? All right? That's the simplicity of what we have here with these services here. All right? This gentleman right here, he's actually from Trinidad and Tobago. He saw the same concept that you're looking at 4.5 years ago. That year, 2016, him and his wife, they made $7,000 that year total. All right? They live in Trinidad. They're actually about to relocate to Orlando. Today, he's a multi-millionaire in US dollars. All right? 4.5 years ago, $7,000 for the year. All right? How do you get yourself started in this business? Very simple. I'm going to recommend that you start with this package right here. This is the Elite package. And the reason why I recommend that is because it comes with all of these packages included. $325, $275 a month. So now you get a chance to learn about digital currency, the foreign exchange market, and the high frequency market as well. All right? Now, do some math with me, guys. Over the course of the next 12 months, your total investment, all right, not tonight, but over the next 12 months, your total investment would be $3,350. That's your total investment to learn how to multiply money in some of the largest financial markets in the world. The question for you tonight is, do you see the value in that? That's the question. If the answer is yes, then this is a perfect opportunity for you. If the answer is no, then I would say don't do it. All right, I would say don't do it. Now, years ago, when I sat in a room like this, and I was listening to the presentation, I was like, well, how do I really know that people can actually succeed in this business? You know one thing I've learned? It's not so much about the vehicle, all right? It's not so much about the vehicle. When I started this journey 17 years ago, I was actually living with my dad when I started. Living with my dad, no money whatsoever. But I had a dream, I had a desire, I had a goal. I wanted something better for my life. I wanted something better for my daughter, all right? So I started to work, and I paid so much attention to all the physical things that I had to do. I had to get better at the skills, right, that it took to become successful. And then something magical took place for me. And I learned something that changed everything for me. Now, I want to teach it to you tonight, and I promise you this. If you understand what I'm going to share with you tonight, you will leave here rich. Your enthusiasm overwhelms me. I sound really excited about that. All right? When I learned this, all right, I actually learned it watching this movie called The Secret. Anybody ever heard of the movie The Secret? And I watched it over and over and over and over again. And then, here's what happened. I was really able to really break it down. All right? I'm going to share with you tonight, all right? And I promise you, if you get it, you're going to get rich. Here's the truth. And I've spoken in many different countries, and it's all the same, all right? There are two types of people on this planet. You have rich and wealthy people, and you have poor and middle class. Now in Freeport, right, are there rich and wealthy people here? Right? Are there poor middle class people here? Absolutely. Now here's the deal. Maybe you haven't noticed, but the middle class is being eliminated. Slowly but surely, you really only have two choices. You're either going to be rich, or you're going to be poor. Now, poor doesn't mean you don't have any money. That's broke. Poor is passing over opportunities repeatedly. In the next 30 minutes, 90 days, 6 months, year, 3 years, there are going to be several opportunities that will come your way that you will pass up on because of your way of thinking. Because of how you were thinking while the opportunity was being presented to you. All right, now watch this. I don't know you, but I promise you this, you know. How many of you have ever heard this phrase before? If it sounds too good to be true, probably it is. All good things come to those who? Money doesn't grow on? That's a lie. Money grows on trees. What's money made out of? Where's paper come from? Trees. Right? Right. We were taught, go to what? School. Get good what? Graduate and get a good job. Right? We were taught that all rich people are going to hell. Wow. Jesus. So when someone says, hey, you can get rich, you go, no, I don't want to do that. All right? Now, I want you guys to follow me on this, okay? Follow me on this because, we look at opportunities, and here's the truth. You're not going to understand 99% of anything I've talked about over here. You're not. You're not supposed to. Okay? Everybody good? All right? So let's come on in. All right? Now, I don't want you to miss this, okay? Let's pay close attention. Here's the truth. 3% live in the rich and wealthy. This is worldwide, okay? 3%. 97% live in the poor middle class. Everybody say that. That's not right. It's not right, but it's true. 3% live in the rich and wealthy. 97% live in the poor middle class. So there is a clear difference between the rich and the wealthy and the poor middle class. Clear difference. Right? Now, if I ask you tonight, what do rich and wealthy people do to create their wealth? What do they do? Invest? What else? What else do they do, guys? Talk to me. What else do they do? They do what? They study, yes. They educate themselves, absolutely. All right, they're consistent, they plan. All right, do they do real estate? Do real estate? Do they own businesses? Yes, they own businesses, right? Now, all those set goals, all right, you must have heard me talk before, all right? All those answers are correct, but here's the truth of how a person becomes rich and wealthy. You ready? It's one word. They have goals. Rich and wealthy people have what? Goals. Let me tell you guys something. You will never become rich until you set a goal to become rich. People that win the lottery, they're not rich. That's not rich. They just got a lot of money. And usually, a lot of times, people that do win the lottery, in 3 years, they're what? Broke. Alright? Rich and wealthy people have what? Goals. Now, what do poor and middle class people do to make money? They work. What do they work? They work a job. Okay? Now, there's nothing wrong with having a job. But there is something wrong with only having a job. Does that make sense? There's something wrong with that. Alright? Now here's the question I have for you. And no one's probably asked you this question before, but I'm going to ask it to you tonight. Raise your hand if you have a job. Raise your hand. Hi. Alright. Question for you. How often do you think about your job? Every day. Every day, right? What's today? What's today anyway? Today is Wednesday? Okay. Do we work tomorrow? In Freeport? Thursday's a work day? Okay. So, every day's a work day. All right. All right. So, how many of you ever looked at your watch at night and said, it's time for me to go to bed so I can wake up on time to get to work? Raise your hand if you've ever had that thought before. Okay. How many of you ever had the thought when you woke up in the morning, right? And you said, I've got to get dressed so I can get to work what? On time. Right? Because you want to beat the what? You want to beat the traffic. Now, if you're trying to beat the traffic, and they're trying to beat the traffic, how do you ever beat the traffic? We'll come back to that later. Okay? How many of you ever had the thought, I don't want to go to work today? Raise your hand if you've ever had that thought. I'll see a very common thought. Even some of you that don't have jobs, you just raise your hand, right? All right, now, I've got a serious question now. Serious question. The job that you currently have today, does it require you to think while you're there? Raise your hand if it requires you to think. Some of you have jobs that don't require you to think. You need to get another job. Okay? As quickly as possible. Right? What's the work day? How many hours is it here? Oh, it's like that in Houston too. 8 hours. So for 8 hours, sorry. That's not really legal, but okay. For 8, 9 hours, you're thinking about what? Work. You're thinking about what you have to do on your job. We do lunch breaks? Yeah. Have you ever said, I need to eat really quickly so I can get back to work? Yeah. Right? And then what time do we get off work here? 5, right? So right around 3:30, do you find yourself looking at the clock a lot more? Like 4? You just can't wait for it to hit 5? Okay, I'm just checking. All right? How many of you have ever taken your work home with you? Maybe you didn't get it all done while you were there, so you had to take it home with you. Raise your hand, okay? How many of you have ever had conversations about what happened at your job when you got home, right? Somebody pissed you off, right? Somebody you don't like. They don't like you either, right? Right? All right, so I just went through all of this to ask this one question. Is it safe to say that your job is probably the #1 thought you have every day? It's almost it's actually at a subconscious level to where you don't even know that that's what you're thinking about all the time. Because before you went to bed, you thought, I need to go to bed so I can get to work. You woke in the morning, so I can get dressed so I can get to work. On your way to work, you've been thinking, I don't want to go to work today. While you were there, you had to think about what you were doing on your job. And then you thought about it when you got off of work, and you repeated that for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Listen, what I'm going to share with you tonight is what took me from living with my dad literally having $1,000 to my name, to multi-millionaire by the age of 27. I am so serious about this. This has changed everything about my life. What I'm about to share with you, just this little thing. And I'm excited for you. Because if you get it, you're going to leave here rich. And seriously, I know it sounds good. See, look, I know some of you are thinking, yeah, whatever. But I'm going to show you why you're thinking that. I'm going to show you. Watch. Don't worry, we got time. All right? Now check this out. We just agreed that your job is the number one thought that you have. Whether it's conscious or whether it's subconscious, that's what you do. Now watch this. The richest man in the world to ever live. Anybody know who that is? Raise your hand. You know who that is? Okay. His name is Solomon. King Solomon? Uh-oh. He's in the Bible? Son of David? Wow. We got some heathens in the house. You don't know who Solomon is? All right. This is what he said. You're going to finish it. He said, as a man thinketh, no. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So, in today's language, that simply means you become what you think about. So if your job is what you think about all the time, you have become your job. I disagree with that, David. Okay, fine. Let me show you. What you think about the most controls your life. Yes. Oh, you agree with that? Yes. So let's talk about it. The house you live in right now. What controls it? She says income. Where's your income come from? Job. So your job controls the house you live in. How many think that's pretty important? Where you live? Yeah. Pretty important, right? Do they have $1 million homes here? Yeah. 2 million? Yeah. 5 million? Yeah. So why didn't you go in that neighborhood? It's not that you don't want to live in a $5 million home, right? But why didn't you go there and say, hey, give me one of the $5 million homes? Because your job said, ma'am, sir, you can't afford that. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, right? Okay. It controls the car you drive. Do they have Rolls Royces here? Yeah. No? Bentleys? Mercedes? Range Rover? Okay, all right. All right. So if you wanted a Rolls Royce, if you wanted a Bentley, if you wanted a Mercedes or a Range Rover, why didn't you go to that dealership and say, hey, I want a Range Rover? Why? Why? Because your job said what? You can't afford it. Watch this. It controls where your kids go to school. It controls where you have dinner. It controls how you look at the menu when you have dinner. Some of you look confused. How many of you look at the menu from the right to the left? Men, are you going to help me out tonight? Men, how many of us, because usually, you're the one that has to pay, right? See, that's why it's called menu. Men, you pay. Men, you pay. That's where the root word of menu comes from, men, you pay. Right? I remember back in my broke days, right? If I ever went out on a date, I would look at her and look at the menu. Look at her, look at the menu. Look at her. And without saying anything, I'm letting her know the steak is not good. Don't even bother. The waiter would come over, say, sir, You guys want anything to drink? Sure, 2 waters, please. And bring a bowl of lemons. A lot of lemons. Because the sugar was already on the table. I just needed the lemons, water, sugar. You got it. See? I'm always talking about people tonight. Watch this. It even controls your spouse. Yes. You said, what are you talking about? Let me help you. Ladies, when you took him home, what was the first question they asked? Where does he work? First question. They didn't say, does he love you? Does he love God? Oh no. What does he do for a living? Your job is what you think about the most, and it controls every area of your life. That's why I said it's okay to have a job, but it's not okay to only have a job. There is no wealthy person that you know, that only worked a job. Because guess what? There's a cap. There's a limit on what you can, receive, on what you can do. Now I'm going to show you why that's so dangerous. Because see, what you think about, yes, that's pretty bad, but watch this. When you think about in your heart, what it does is it creates feelings. What feelings come with your job? Participate now. What feelings come with your job? Don't try to hide it now. Go ahead. Stress. What else? Who? Anxiety. I think somebody said revengeful. I'm going to stay away from you. Look at that much. All right. Anxiety. What else? Frustration. What else? I got some stuff going on over there. Regret. What else? Depression. All right. Depression. What else? We're going to stop at depression. I'm going to stop at depression. I'm getting depressed this night. Right? So let me get this straight. For the last year, for the last 5 years, for the last 10 years, the dominating feelings in your life is anxiety and stress and depression. Regret. And then someone comes along and says, hey, you can be rich. Of course you're going to look at me like I've got 5 heads. Because this is what I've been feeling all this time. Is this making sense? Now watch this. Rich and wealthy people, what they do, what they've learned is to think about their goals all day long. And then they become their goals. Can I share my testimony? Is that okay? All right, I was going to do it anyway. I was just asking you. Right? But check it. When I learned this, I took a dollar bill, $1, and I changed it to $100,000. For 4.5 years, I've been working hard, but I didn't understand what I just taught you right now. And I put this dollar bill that I changed it to $100,000. I put it on my bathroom sink. This is when I was living with my dad. So every morning, I had to see what? $100,000. Because see, your subconscious mind doesn't know what's real or what's not real. It only takes the information that you give it. So now every morning, I wasn't seeing the broke person in the mirror. I was seeing what? $100,000. In 6 months, I made 6 figures. 6 months. Right? And then I always saw my parents fighting over money. So I said, I want to save 6 figures. I want to have $100,000 in my bank. So you know what I did? I went online and I Googled $100,000 cash. I made that picture my screensaver on my laptop. So every time I open up my laptop, guess what? I had to think about what? Having $100,000 at one time. It took me 9 months to save $100,000. And then I changed this $100,000, I changed it to $1 million. Right? And it happened. You know, at the time when I first learned this, I was driving a Malibu. Okay? You guys know what Malibu is? I call it the blue boo-boo. They're here? Okay. Right? That's what I was driving. But I wanted a Bentley. That's what I wanted. So I would go to the Bentley dealership. And I would sit in the car. I would get all the pictures, and I put the pictures in the kitchen, and put the pictures. I moved out of my dad's house now, right? So I had a nice little loft. I put pictures of Bentleys everywhere. 2010, I was able to pay cash for one. I wanted a Lamborghini. Right? I wanted a Lamborghini. So because I understood how this thing worked, I went and got pictures of it. Okay? I paid cash for that too. Yeah. Right? I wanted $1 million home, so I would go to the $1 million home area, the subdivisions over there, and I would drive around. I would go see the house, and one day I'm going to live in that $1 million home. And yeah, in 2011, 2012, I was able to purchase one. Right? I wanted a Rolls Royce. I did. And because I understood how this works, you think about it, I changed my alarm on my phone to say Rolls Royce rate. I think I'm on my 6th Rolls Royce right now. I took a $5 bill and I changed it to $5 million. I said that was my goal. I was going to make $5 million in a year. Right? And that happened. Then I took a $20 bill. I said I'm going to make $20 million in a year. Seriously. I felt a lot of jealousy on this side of the world. I'm over here. That's not you guys. I'm joking. Seriously. Thoughts. See, your thoughts come from three places. They come from God, they come from the enemy, and they come from your 5 senses. See, the whole time I've been talking to you, you've been talking to yourself. How many of you talk to yourself? Raise your hand, you know you talk to yourself. If you just said to yourself, I don't talk to myself, you just did. Right? You do it all the time. Right? And some of you are taking this information in, and you're receiving it, and some of you are sitting there skeptical. No, and my message to you is why? I'm right here in front of you. I'll be 38 a month from today. 38. So I've been studying what I'm sharing with you right now. I started studying it in 2008. Been studying the same information, and now I've taught it to countless of other people. See this gentleman right here, Justin Owens? Right? We were friends, we were cool. We were going to do business together. He was doing something else, I was doing something else. We would just go. I'll come to Atlanta, we'll have lunch. He'd come to Houston, we'll have lunch, have dinner. Just cool. Right? And then it came time, he was like, you know what? I want to take a look at what it is that you guys are doing. Right? I remember he wanted a Rolex watch. You know what I told him? I said, go get a picture. I said, put it on your phone. At the time, he couldn't afford a Rolex watch. But he did what? He went and got a picture of it. The Rolex watch is on his wrist right now. Then he said, you know, I want a Bentley. I said, you know what to do? Go get a what? Go get a picture. Oh, by the way, this is biblical. When Abraham wanted a son, what did God tell him? Look up at the stars. Imagine a child's face on every star. And then he believed. Because you only believe what you see. So if only what you see is your current situation, if only what you see is the car you're currently driving, the home that you currently live in, that's all you ever believe. Guys, listen, I know this like the back of my hand. That's how it works. Let's say you were born into a Christian home. How many of you were born into a Christian home? Right? If I came to your home, I would see evidence that you were a Christian. Correct? But let's say you were born to a Christian home, and the moment you came out, your parents shipped you to China. Hear me out. And you were raised by Asian parents that were Buddhists. Would you be a Christian? No. You wouldn't. Why? Because your environment would say what? Buddha. The information you were listening to would say what? Buddha. The images that you would see would say what? Buddha. Therefore, you're a Buddhist. That's the same thing with wealth. If you're surrounded with lack, if you're surrounded with not having enough, that's all you'll ever believe. So you can take the environment that you're in right now, and you can change it with pictures. Now, if you don't think pictures work, I'm going to give you two things. How many of you have ever heard people say, a picture's worth 1,000 words? How many of you have ever heard that before? Yeah. Words create everything. You can't spell world without word. How was this world created? He what? Spoke. How are you going to create your world? Speaking. See, we all live on the same earth, but we live in different worlds. Yes. The world that you're living in is based on what you're speaking. Now, here's the deal. What does this have anything to do with this? I'll explain. See, over here, you're able to set goals and say, this is where I want to be. And over here, faith is required. Everybody say that with me? Faith is required. Over here, no faith is required. You know, on Friday, right? How often do we get paid here? Weekly. So you know every week or bi-weekly or once a month that you're going to get your check. Or at least you know you better get your check. Right? But it's a guarantee. You know exactly when that check is going to come in, and the money is already spent before it came. So no faith is required. Have you ever heard this saying that, for it is impossible to please God without what? Faith. So you're spending 5, 10, 15, 20 years in an environment that doesn't require faith. And you're expecting for the blessings to come. You can go to church, you can pray till you're blue in the face. If you're not in a space that requires faith, nothing will ever change. There were only two classes of people in the Bible that had jobs: soldiers and slaves. Everybody else sold something. Everybody else was an entrepreneur. Are you guys with me on this? Yes. This is a $5 to $7 trillion a day financial market. We go to school for 12, 16 years before we get a degree to make no money. I'm saying over the next 18 months, can you commit to learning a skill on how to take $1 and turn it into 10? I'm saying over the next 18 months, are you willing to learn a skill set that can allow you to touch the rest of the world without ever having to leave Freeport? Obviously, we know what took place here with the hurricane. And we know the devastation of what happened. A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people lost their incomes because it was dependent on someone else. What if your income didn't have to be dependent on anyone else ever again? What if? That's what we're showing you here tonight. The ability to take power back into your hands. This is biblical. When it says cast your bread upon waters, what he's talking about is trading. Because that was the main form of trading back then. Okay. When I saw this 4.5 years ago, I was like, man, we got something special here. Now watch this. For the guests that are here, it's my first time here in Freeport, but I do it everywhere I go because I know we got the truth. If you've used any of our services, any one of them, and you've made at least $1 trading, stand up. You've made at least $1 trading, stand up. Just $1. If you've made at least $10 trading, stay standing. If you're back there, you can wave your hand so they know, okay? If you've made at least $100, stay standing. At least $500. At least $1,000. Okay, that's a wave right there. Okay? What's your name, man? Shanique. Shanique? How long have you been in the business?
I would say
16 months? Okay. What's your rank in the company?
right now, 150.
P150. Now I want you guys to hear me out. I'm going to show you what a P150 is. P150 is where you have 3 customers in your business, you make $150 a month. You've made over $1,000 trading so far. If you don't mind me asking, what's been your best day so far trading?
1,200.
1,200. Let's give her a round of applause for that. So, on the networking side, on the network, the telling other people about it, $150 a month. But on the learning side, trading side, $1,200 in a day. You guys see the difference here? So you don't have to go and tell anybody else about this. You can learn this skill set for yourself. Okay? If you've made at least $3,000, wave or standard, if you've made at least $3,000 trading, okay, not in a day, but just total, you made at least $3,000. Okay? All right, okay. So if you don't mind asking, because everybody knows who you are, but how long have you been in the business? 17 months. Okay? Did you know anything about trading prior to? Nothing about it. What's your favorite product to use?
Now, my favorite product is Go Live, HFX Go Live.
HFX Go Live. Everybody loves HFX. Money in minutes, everybody. All right. What's been your best day so far, trading? $1,300. Let's give her a round of applause for that. Let me tell you what's really going to explode this market. The more testimonies of people making $100, $300, $500, just using the services, that's going to explode this market. Okay? I travel around the world, and I do this all the time, and it amazes me how many people are succeeding just utilizing the services that we have. All right? But the big thing that I want you to understand is that the opportunity that we're showing you tonight is going to give you a chance to set what? Goals. To where now you don't have to say, okay, I'm only going to earn this. All right? Think about it. If you put a limit on yourself, do you know what you're essentially doing? You're putting a limit on what God can do for you. That's essentially what you're doing. See? There's no limits, guys. There's no limits to this. And this is why I recommend you start here. You start at the elite package. All right? Now watch this. This $275 a month, guess what? If you refer, you got the clicker, right? Help me out with that. If you refer just 2 people, how many of you know 2 people that like you? Raise your hand if you know 2 people that like you. All right. You didn't raise your hand. We're going to pray for you after this meeting, all right? At least 2 people that say, yes, they want to learn and earn as well. Right? Now, that monthly subscription is free. How many of you could afford free? Raise your hand if you can afford free. Okay, good, everybody. All right? Now, what if you wanted to actually share this concept with other people? How many of you love people? Raise your hand if you love people. Okay, a couple of you. Good. All right. Our company says, we'll pay you. We'll pay you to tell someone else about this. Now, I know when we talk about this, sometimes people shut down mentally, right? Because they're like, oh, it's one of those things. Okay? What does that even mean? It's one of those things. Oh, one of those things you can get rich in? Yeah. One of those things you can fail at? Yeah. Right? See, look, you gotta remove this mentality of not wanting to fail. Successful people fail every day. That's what makes them successful. You can't run from failure. Running from failure is running from success. The actual door to success, the gateway to success, is more failure. I have failed more than everybody in this room. That's why I succeed. Right? You already refer things to people. How many of you ever referred Netflix? You refer Netflix to people? You watch the movie on Netflix. You call it, hey, you need to watch this movie. They don't have Netflix. They get in contact with Netflix, they get Netflix. Netflix pay you? Nope. You refer Amazon. Haven't you not? Has Amazon ever paid you for refer? Nope. You refer great movies. You refer restaurants you ate at. You refer when you got your hair done. Don't get paid for it. But the moment we say, hey, we're going to pay you for referring something, you go, oh, one of those things. It's a pyramid. By the way, you know pyramids still stand today. It's like one of the strongest structures ever built. And by the way, your job is a pyramid. No? Okay. Let's see. Help me out, because I really don't know much about the job structure, but let's look at it. Is the CEO down here or up here? Okay, he's up here. Okay. And then he or she's up here. Then who's next? Managers? No. We haven't got managers yet. CEO and then what? We got president. Then we got vice president. Okay, what else? Executives. Okay. And then we have, is it supervisors or managers that come? Managers, okay, and then supervisors, and then everybody else. And yeah, it just keeps going, right? Who makes the most money? But it's only one of them, him or her. What does this look like to you? So, why would you get out of this? I mean, anybody here have a dollar bill? U.S. $1 bill? Anybody have that? I'll give it back to you, don't worry. I just want to see. I just want to see if it's still there. Huh? There would be not even U.S. one. Anybody have a U.S. one? I just want to see if it's still there. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's still there. There's a pyramid. Yeah, you guys ever seen it? Did you ever notice the eye in it? See, it's the eye winking at you, telling you to get in one as quickly as possible. Guys, let me help you with that, because I know some of you deal with that. People say, oh, is this a pyramid scheme? A pyramid, write this down so you remember this, all right? A pyramid scheme is where money is being exchanged without a product or service being rendered. That's the definition of pyramid scheme. All right, so when people say, is this a pyramid? No. Do you even know what a pyramid is? Ask them that. They don't. 9 out of 10 times they don't even know what it means. A pyramid is where money is being exchanged without a product or service being rendered. This cannot be that. When a person pays $325, they are receiving what? An educational platform. Does that make sense, guys? All right? Now look at this. You refer people to this. So this is you. Everyone starts off as a customer. Everybody starts off as what? Customer. We're going to help you get your 2 and free. So now that monthly subscription of $275, that's now waived. If you decide to become an IBO, right, you will now be responsible for the $275 a month because you're an IBO. It's $15 to become an IBO. But check this out. With you having 3 customers, now our company's going to pay you. So you're a Platinum 150, now you're earning $150 a month. That now helps pay the $275 a month. You guys with me so far? But watch this. Let's help these 3 people do exactly what you did. Now you have a total of what? 12 customers in your business. Now you're a Platinum 600. You're earning $600 per month in residual. Ladies and gentlemen, 4.5 years ago, I decided to get involved in this business because of $600. Yes. Now, I was already a multi-millionaire when I saw this business. But this is what drove me. This is what got me excited. $600. Because you know what I said to myself? I said, everybody can do that. Here's what I mean. The person that invited you here tonight, okay, who's a guest? Raise your hand if you're a guest. Who's an excited guest? I need an excited guest. All right, you're an excited guest. What's your name? You forgot your name. That much excitement. All right. All right. What's your name again? Shante. All right. Now, Shante, who invited you here tonight? Who's that? Edson. Okay. Where is she? Hi. How are you doing?
Awesome.
How do you spell your name?
ETTA.
E-T-T-A. Now, S is a leader, all right? And your first name again is? That's what S? Okay, I'm just going to go S. All right, now watch this. I want you to follow me on this, all right? How many customers did I say it takes to get to $600 a month? 12. What if I told you that the company says, we will count the customers that you enroll, we'll also count the customers that your customers enroll. Now, why would customers enroll customers? So they can get the service for what? For free. But we'll also count the customers that Etta puts below you. So it takes 12 customers, right? So what if I told you Etta could put 4 people below you, 4 customers below you, and it would still count towards your $600 per month? I said, come again? I said, I'm in. Because now, that means that a person can build a team of just 8 people and make $600 every single month. Can that make a difference in some people's lives? Can that, seriously, can that help here? An extra $600 a month? Right? Now, if you can get to Platinum 600, we help some other people do that. Guess what? You can be a Platinum 1,000. That's 30 customers in your business. Now you're making $1,000 a month. That's an extra $12,000 a year for 30 people. And guess what? She could place 12 people below you, and it would count towards the 30. See, right now you got to look at the person that invited you and say, is this person a winner? If they are, if they're not, just look straight ahead. Okay? If they're not, don't look, just look straight ahead. But if they are, all right, don't miss this opportunity, because when they go out and build it, they can build it below you, where you're earning income on their efforts. I had never seen a compensation plan where you could actually earn not just on your own efforts, but on the efforts of the person that actually brought you in. It doesn't work like that at your job, though. Oh, seriously. I used to hear it all the time. Oh, it's just a scam. I said, well, what time do you have to wake up in the morning and go to work? 5. So let me get this straight. You wake up at an ungodly hour. Right, prayer time. Right? You go somewhere you don't want to be. You're around people you don't like, and they don't like you. And that's not a scam. Oh, and you get paid what you're not worth. Right? 75 customers in your business. Now you're a Platinum 2000. Okay? Justin, pick that for me. You're a Platinum 2000, 75 customers. Now you're making $2,000 a month for 75 customers. That's an extra $24,000 a year for talking. How many of you talk? Raise your hand if you talk every day. Some of you don't talk, okay? Cool. I talk. That's what I've been doing. For 17 years, I've been talking. You make millions of dollars for what? Talking. Some people are going to say yes. Some people are going to say no. So what? Just keep talking. Words. The wealthiest people in the world get paid for words. You know what's interesting about Jeff Bezos? You know the first thing he decided to sell on Amazon? Books. Words. So you have to pay attention to the details. Amazon. First 2 letters in Amazon is AM. You think that's a coincidence? It's not. Now, who's a Platinum 600 in here? You're a Platinum 600? Oh, Platinum 150? Who's a Platinum 150? Let's start there. All right, let's give them a round of applause. Platinum 150. Yeah. Platinum 600. Platinum 600. All right. Platinum 1000. Yeah. All right. Any platinum 2? Platinum 2000? Close? Okay. All right, there we go. All right. Platinum 5000. Can anything right? Congratulations. That's $5,000 a month. Is that a big deal? Yeah. It's an extra $60,000 a year. Now, are you part-time or full-time?
Well, technically,
Technically.
I'm more on, I haven't, listen. Okay, my salon is no longer a salon anymore, it's a trade house.
I can say I love it. So, part-time, full-time. All right. And then we've got Sophia in here. She's a chairman 10. It's 10 grand a month. Base. All right? Then we have chairman 25. Then we actually have a chairman 50 in the house. Vince Murphy right there. That's $12,500 a week. Woo. Let's go, let's go. So listen. So if you need a loan, he's the one you need to talk to. That guy right there, right? Then we got Chairman 100. Justin Owens in the house. Chairman 100. $25,000 a week.
Let's go. More money.
Now look, I don't know if you're like me, but my mindset was, if God can do it for them, He can do it for me. Right? You can have a business here in Freeport. You can have a business in the U.S. You can have a business in Africa. You can have a business in Latin America. Right? We fly back to Houston tomorrow, and then we go to Mexico. Okay? We go to Mexico on Friday. We go back to Miami. Right? You can have a business all around because you have the internet. You have social media. So you don't have to just build the business here. You can build it all around the world. People come here from all around the world. Right? It's just more money. We have people at Chairman 250. We've got 23-year-olds, 24-year-olds at Chairman 250. Seriously. Justin Owens is literally weeks away from becoming the Chairman 250. That's it. I know he's grateful for the $25K a week, but I always tease him and say, man, that $62,500 a week is something serious. It's really life-changing. We have folk at Chairman 500. We have people that are off the charts at Chairman 750 in this company. Okay? It all started with setting goals.
Yeah.
When I got involved in this business, I didn't set a goal, I want to become a Chairman 500. No, I said, you know what? We're going to help 100 people get here. That was my goal. We're going to help 100 people get there. And every day we would speak. I'm so happy and grateful now that we have 100 Chairman 10s and above in our organization. That's all I was speaking. Never talked about the goal that I would have for myself. It was 100 chairmans. And it happened in 17 months. Right? 17 months. Yeah. The question I have for you guys, Sarah, is, what are you speaking?
10 Chairman 10s to Freeport.
Yes. I like that. 10 Why not? Why not? It's 500 customers. So that'll be a total of 5,000 people. Why not? Right? People already want to go to school. They already understand the power of education. You're just giving them a different education. An education on money. On what to do with money. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave you guys with this because I'll probably come back up and do a quick training. But a couple weeks ago, what time is it? These watches, I'll tell you, we don't use these watches for time. We use our phone for that. 8:48? Okay. Listen, I want to share something with you that I told you I've been studying this since 2008, ever since I watched that movie, right? And I've gotten insight. I've gotten insight every single year, or maybe every week, or every month. It just comes. A couple of weeks ago, matter of fact, it was during Run the Play. Justin just had a conference. It was April 18th? Yeah, 16th to 18th. And it was at the end of the conference, and I was doing it. You don't want to miss this, by the way. Okay, make sure you hear me now. You don't want to miss this one. This is it right here. And it was the end of the conference, and I was having a private leadership meeting. There was probably about 30 people, right? And we were in my hotel suite. And every last one of them kept talking about what had gone wrong. Okay? Because in business, everything is not perfect in business. You have ups and downs. So they kept talking about the past. They kept talking about, they had lost their rank, or, this happened or this happened. And I just kept hearing the same thing. And I said, well, why do you guys keep talking about the past? But if you think about it, that's what we do. See, the news is not the future. The news is the past. And they put on the news when? When we get home. Right? And that's what we watch. CNN, constant negative news. Watching the past. And that's what most of us do. We speak about it, we talk about it. What happened? We talk about our past failures. Right? We talk about other people's past failures. So I had them look it up. I said, look up the meaning of the word past. And it said, no longer existing. And I said, guys, you gotta start thinking, you gotta start speaking about the future. What do you want to happen for Freeport? What do you want to have happen for your family? What do you want to have happen for yourself? See, that's what I want you to talk about. That's what I want you to speak about. I don't want you to speak about the problem. We already know what the problem is. We already know there's some places that need to be rebuilt. But are we talking about how we're going to rebuild it? Or are we just talking about it needing to be rebuilt? Is this making sense? So I said, you know what? Look up the meaning of the word future. Matter of fact, I'm going to have you do that tonight. I want you to go to Google and just type the meaning of the word future. Guys, if you get this, you know what it did for me? It gave me peace when I understood this. Because a lot of times we worry, right? We worry about finances, we worry about if it's going to work, right? I want you to hear this, and then we'll close it out. Do we have applications? The meaning of the word future. Do you have it? Okay, what you say?
A period of time following the moment of speaking or writing.
All right, pause. I want to say it again.
A period of time following the moment of speaking or writing.
The future is the time or period of time following the moment I speak it or write it. Your future is created by what you're speaking and what you're writing. The problem is you keep creating your past because you keep speaking your past. And your past stays your future. If you can understand that, the power that's in your mouth, you'll be very careful what you say. Does that make sense?
Yes.
When you speak about your finances, when you speak about your wealth, You won't speak about money from a place of lack. You won't speak about money from a place of not having it. You're going to speak, I'm wealthy. I'm rich. I used to lie to myself. I said, I'm rich. It was actually the truth. Because I am. Does that make sense, guys? Yes. That's what this opportunity is all about. This opportunity is a chance for you to set goals. This opportunity is a chance for you to have a different way of thinking, a different mentality that can completely transform your life forever. I'm no different from anybody in this room. I'm no better than anybody in this room. I just learned how to think a little bit different. And now we've taught that to countless amount of people from all different walks of life, and their lives are completely different because you become what you think about. It's that simple. Okay? I had an amazing time with you guys here tonight. I'm really happy for you. Proud of you guys. Okay? And I know we have quite a few guests that are here. Okay? Quite a few guests that are here. If you're a guest here tonight and you want to take a chance on yourself, okay? You want to take a chance on yourself. You want to create something special for yourself, for your family, and you want to do it with us. I can tell you that you've got committed people here that are going to actually help you succeed in this business. If you're a guest here tonight and you say, this is something I want to do, I want you to raise your hand real quickly. If you're a guest here and you say, you know what, I'm making the decision, I want to do this. Raise your hand high. Let's see it. All right, awesome. We're going to come out. Let's give them a round of applause. Let's give these guests a round of applause. You've got your freedom form, okay? This is your freedom form. She wants to right there. Keep your hand high. Keep it up there. All right, we're going to give you an application. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to fill it out completely. Fill it out completely. Make that decision tonight and give it back to the person that invited you here tonight. Okay? Give it back to the person that invited you here tonight. I would never want to close out a meeting like this and have this gentleman in the room and not have him say something to you guys. He is one of the best leaders, not just in this company, but in the entire industry of network marketing. His rank of being a six-figure monthly earner does not compare to the type of leader that he is. He will be a seven-figure a month earner in this industry as well. So I want you guys to hear from Justin Owens. Congratulations to all of you guys. Justin, come on up here.
Look, you guys do me a favor and give it up for Mr. David and me. It's really special when you have somebody his caliber that continues to do what he does, because how people agree if you were making seven figures, there's a lot of things on a monthly basis. There's a lot of things you could be doing, right? And so there's a lot of places he could be in the world, but he decided to be here. So y'all give it up for him one more time. Sophia and the leaders here have done an incredible job. This is really just the beginning. You guys do everything. I've been doing this now for almost 4 years, and I was in the same seat as a lot of you all. Like I was probably a little worse because I was very nervous about this decision because I don't know that much about investing. Only thing I knew was I wanted to make a change because I knew I didn't like my bank account balance at that particular time. It was really, really low, right? And we've been told that you can't connect the dots. Looking forward, you only connect when going back. And so I didn't realize I was broke then, but I realize it now. And I'm like, man, I was really broke right then. I didn't know. You look back at pictures. Y'all ever thought you was looking good at one time and you look? I'm like, man, why you didn't tell me I was looking like that? And so I had moments like that. And I looked up some numbers here. They're very similar to the numbers in the United States. And it's about 60% of individuals here don't have $1,000 put aside for anything, which means that most people are what? Bro, it was hard for some people to get that out right now. Yeah, go right here. And so it amazes me sometimes how, we've been taught that, if you buy somebody's opinion, you buy their lifestyle. And sometimes people leave an event like this and go talk to somebody that doesn't have $1,000 and say, hey, what do you think about this? And I learned very quickly, I had to start listening to people that had the results that I wanted. Even if it didn't make sense to me. Because when David told me this stuff and he said, get a picture, start speaking. And I was like, I don't know about that. But then I remembered I was broke. I said, let me try something that somebody is getting some results, was actually teaching me to do. I was reading something the other day, and it was talking about the amount of time that money circulates in communities. In the Asian community, money circulates in the same community for 28 days. The Jewish community was 17 days. Caucasian community, 15 days. Hispanic community, 13 days. African American community, 6 hours. I mean, I guess we laugh. I didn't laugh about it. It's pretty bad. Because what it showed me is that there's a lot of work to be done from a mindset standpoint. See, we're thinking we don't have the money. No, we do. It's just that as soon as we get it, we throw it away. And the trick is, they make you feel responsible for giving away because they disguise it as something called bills. Anybody here got bills? And so you're like, man, I'm broke. But at least I paid my bills. Anybody said that before? I don't have any money, but at least the lights are on. And I started, man, it's not a cool place to be. And it has to come from education. Outside of understanding the goal setting piece and understanding how to really believe for what you want, we have to learn more about money. It really comes down to what to invest, how to invest, and how to really make it work. That's what I was excited about. I was like, man, this is a way for people to get free. Why? Because with investing, it don't matter what you look like. It don't matter how you talk, what you drive, what you have, you don't have. All that matters is, did you learn the skill? That's something everybody here can have. This is what most people do. They get paid, and then they go pay their what? Bills. They work some more, and they go pay their what? Bills. And they work some more, and they go pay their what? So here's what I tell you. You got to stop saying you're getting paid because you're not. Your bills are. What we're going to do, starting today, for those of you who get serious about it, is we're going to show you how to get paid. How many people want to learn how to pay yourself? Right? Mr. Imonitie has an event coming up in July in Orlando, a Believe Nation event. And if anybody got some value off of just a little bit of time with him, right? Really, really good. That's going to be an incredible weekend. You're talking about, 2.5 days with a gentleman that's made a lot of money teaching you how to really set up an incredible belief system. So it's not just going to be, hey, get started in this business, but we're going to really teach you all how to go out here and build. I was talking to a young lady about his event. And Sophia will tell you about something special that we did, because we got some tickets in bulk to be able to make it even more affordable for people to be able to make it there. And so she can let you all know the details of that and the dates. And I was talking to this young lady about coming to this event. She's like, Justin, I don't know. Man, things are kind of tight. Anybody here got things kind of tight? And it was her. I was like, okay, I understand that. I was like, really the problem isn't that things are tight for you right now. The problem is you still think they're going to be tight for you a month from now. I don't even know if some of y'all catch your thought process sometimes. You can be thinking about where you are and then be thinking about 6 months from now based on where you're going to be, where you are today. And so you don't even know it. You're saying, I don't know if I can do that because this time coming up, I'm not going to have it. So you're basically saying in 6 months, you're still going to be broke. That's some place to be. But what if you can have the same mindset, but instead of saying in 6 months I'm going to be broke, you can say in 6 months I'm going to be rich. Here's the beauty of it. Setting goals, not setting goals. They're both free. One can get you everything, and one can lose you everything. And you really got to make that decision. We put together an environment where I hope you all can see it today, that we're in the trenches with you. One of the biggest reasons I joined David outside of our personal relationship is that he was already a 6-figure monthly earner and he was still working. And I was like, man, I don't know if anybody's ever been in a position in business where you're like, man, I just want somebody that's going to be working with me, that's still in the trenches, that's getting some results. Sometimes when people make multi-millions of dollars, they're already relaxing and chilling. But no, we've got some big goals. We set a goal as a company to have 1,000 chairman 10s and above. And that's going to be done. Who wouldn't mind being one of those chairman 10s? Right? 10,000. It literally starts with a decision. Right? I'll tell you this, if you don't do anything, you're not going to get anything. But if you come over here and you're responsible for what's about to happen here in Freeport, if you're responsible for the growth, I came here 2 weeks ago. The room was smaller. There was less people. Come back a few weeks later, and there's already more people. What do you all think is going to happen over the next 6 to 12 months when people find out what's happening? Listen, all I would say, if you do this, we know how to help you make money, and we know how to help you get results. If you don't do it, write down today's date and watch out the next 12 to 18 months. Because there's going to be 2 people that happen. There's one that's going to be like, man, I'm glad I did it. And there's going to be another group like, I wish I did. There are going to be people on this island that they're going to pass by their house, and they're going to be like, man, what do they do? Like, remember that Forex thing? That crypto thing that came through a few years ago? They actually started that here on the island. Man, and I don't know who's excited to be for that to be your family, but I'm telling you, there's going to be some people in this island that make a decision to not just get started, but to run. Like it can literally change your entire life because you're looking at some individuals that it's already happened for. So I'm excited for you. Y'all give it up for Mr. Imonitie one more time. We're going to talk to Sophia. We're going to set some goals where I'll be back out. Get Mr. Imonitie back out here. Vince Murphy out here as well, because we're really going to really work on really building this market and blowing it up. So listen, guests, get your application. Let's get started. Sophia and the team, they're going to be doing a training with you all to help you get your account set up, to get you plugged into the system, to help you really go out here and start making some money in the market. Some of y'all will be making money in the next 24 to 48 hours. How many people will be okay with that? All right, we're going to show you all how to do that in the market as soon as you all get started. So welcome to the family. We're going to take a quick break. Do we have time? I don't know the curfew. We got time? Okay. So we're going to have Chairman 50, Mr. Vince Murphy. He's going to start us off with a fast start training. So y'all get ready for that. We're going to take a quick 7-minute break. Have any questions, get them answered. Anybody's ready to get started, we're going to help you get it started. We'll look forward to seeing you guys in about 7 minutes, okay?